Dahlhoff.
Here.
Legislator Fawcett is unexcused. Halfway.
Here. Yes.
King.
Here.
Culzer.
Here.
Mowerhand.
Here.
Mosier.
Yeah, here.
Tabor.
Here. Everyone will please rise. We'll have an invocation and pledge. God our Father, as we approach the beginning of a new year, we proclaim our need of your presence and your guidance in our lives. We each have our hopes and expectations for the year that is ahead of us. But you alone know what it holds for us, and only you can give us the strength and the wisdom we will need to meet its challenges. So help us to humbly put our hands into your hand, to trust you and to seek your will in this new year and the remainder of our lives. We pray for all those in need of our prayers, including Legislator Rocky Fawcett. May the season of Christmas bring hope and joy to their hearts, knowing that they are loved. We now pause for a moment of silence for all the recently departed and all those that have played an important role in our lives. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All legislators should have received a copy of the November 21st and December 5th meeting minutes. Any legislator have any corrections at this time? If not, they stand approved. Order the Rules and Legislation Committee for Rule 6. Terry?
The Rules and Legislation Committee is met, and they recommend to waive the rules to act upon late resolutions of today.
Moved by Craig, second by Brian. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. At this time, we'll open our public hearing for comments on rescinding the local law to override the tax limit. Does anyone from the public have any comments on the local law at this time? Okay, we go to privilege of the floor. Does anyone from the public have any comments they'd like to discuss at this meeting? Eric?
My name's Eric. In the past few years, I've been traveling on the road with the Cole All-Star Circus. I met them when I was 12 years old here at Lawville. I helped them set up and tear down. We're going to the 80th year of the Cole All-Star Circus. I talked to the village last night. They're going to jump on board and work with me to do like a proclamation. Let me give you a little bit of the history of the Cole All-Star Circus. Mr. James M. Cole, he's originally from Penn, New York. When he graduated from school, he was part of the circus about the age of 11. He became a circus legend. How he became a circus legend? He became a circus legend because he brought elephants to his big top. Then he decided to do a small show for the schools, so organizations within the school and some outside the school can do a fundraising. And ever since, this has been a one-kind show. And he actually brought elephants into the schools, right into the gym, onto the gym floor. Hearing stories about him, about that circus at that time, is pretty nice to hear. The current owner, Mr. Billy Martin, from only in New York, has taken the circus over. He started helping Mr. Cole at the age of 12. There was a time where Mr. Martin had people from the school help out with the circus. The gym class be stagehands, music class to do the music, and the art class to do the posters. Then a few years later, Mr. Martin started getting more schools around his community. The first one he got was Shingle House, Pennsylvania, and we do that one every year. And that was his first time getting a contract done for Mr. Cole. And since then, this circus has grown to be big and a success. What I'm looking to do is make the 80th year of their season a good one. It's not only their 80th year, but it's the 30th year coming to Lowellville. The former superintendent, Mr. McCullough, got the circus to come to the school. At that time, he was the high school student council advisor. And I appreciate him bringing this, because I didn't know where I would be today if it wasn't for him. Then Mr. Paul Cornell is the current high school, the student council advisor, and he appreciated me over the years before I became a member of his club. With me jumping on board with them, I started helping do a setup, tear down. I came back every year, and I got to know the owner and his wife, and plus the performers. We always have a good time each year. And before I became a member of the high school student council, I was helping them put out the posters throughout the school, because I knew the best spots to place them. And now I'm happy to still be a part of the circus. So I was wondering if you guys are willing to be a part of what the village wants to do to make this year a success for the Cole All-Star Circus.
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
We can give it some thought and come up with some ideas on how the county might contribute or take a role. So.
Yeah. And it's February 8th is the show at Lowellville. You guys are more than welcome to come. And we do have a Facebook page and a website that you can look at. It's BillyMartinsCircus.com, and it's Billy Martin's Cole All-Star Circus for the Facebook page.
Okay, very good. Anyone else have anything for privilege of the floor? Okay, we'll move along to presentation and communications and notices, Terry.
We have a short letter from Ray and Kathy Bancroft. I'd like to thank and offer a heartfelt thank you to the Board of Legislators for the recognition of our neighbors on Maple Street in Copenhagen that assisted with life-saving measures during my husband's accident. It has meant, it has meant so much to us and our family that you recognized our heroes. Thank you again, and we wish you all the best for the upcoming new year. That's Ray and Kathy Bancroft. We've also received a correspondence from the Orange County Legislature, who enacted a resolution urging state representatives to exempt county tuition chargeback obligations for the Fashion Institute of Technology. And that concludes communications.
Thank you, Terry. And now the reports of county officers and departments, Terry.
Legislators have received copies of the December 18 letter from the Ethics Board reporting their activity and the minutes of the November 14 Community Services Board meeting. The November monthly report of the Director of Weights and Measures, Jim Richmeyer, has been received and placed on file with my office. And that concludes reports.
Thank you, Terry. We go to the reports of standing committees. Bill, since this is your last meeting, I'm sure you don't have anything to say.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to let Joan accuse me of being a blatherskate again. So, I'm a blatherskate. So
A
I'm gonna,
person who talks at great length without making much sense.
Good description.
so between that and as a Christmas present to everybody here, I'm not gonna give a report.
Oh.
No report.
Your shirt tells it all. And, okay, Rocky is unable to be with us. Does anybody?
I have a motion for Office of Aging. It is a motion to authorize OFA Director Kelly Hecker to fill an impending principal account clerk vacancy due to transfer to another county department, effective immediately.
Okay, we have a motion by Andrea, a second by Craig. Discussion? Questions? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Andrea?
That's it.
Thank you. Then we go to Brian, County Officers, Veterans, Junkyard, HR.
Nothing to report. The only thing we went over in HR is some changes in the exempt employee handbook, and we went through, discussed some stuff about our ongoing contract negotiations and mediation processing. So that's it.
Very good. Jerry, Courts and Law.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have some resolutions in the package as we come across them. If you have questions, I'll gladly answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Larry, Economic Development.
First off, I'd like to know how you spell that word, Joan.
BLATHERSKITE.
Is that
Somehow
for
we'll put it
future
in a
reference?
resolution next time.
Okay, I'll start off with a motion to authorize Jackie Mahoney to purchase an F-550 truck from Morrison Verkler at the state bid price and offer the used F-350 to municipalities pursuant to the highway's existing policy. If there's no interested municipality, the vehicle may be auctioned online and the proceeds appropriated to offset the new vehicle purchase.
Okay, we got a motion by Larry, second by Craig. Discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Just a couple other quick notes. ATV permits are up for the year to date, up 42 permits, up 110 3-day passes. Revenue is slightly down $2,500 due to the $20 discount that we instituted this year, but that could change by the year end. Office of Parks and Recs grant for snowmobile trail maintenance this year will be $272,051, and we will distribute the 70% or the $191,291 to the clubs as soon as it arrives. The CFA grants, Lewis County was very successful. We received $350,000 for the Lions Falls Mill site redevelopment. Lewis County Fairgrounds Stormwater Project got $575,000. Long Pond Snow Club got $200,000 for the purchase of a new groomer. Snow Ridge got $44,000 for an ice rink and tubing center. Town of Lewis got $491,000 for a salt storage project. Turn Ridge Riders got $200,000 for a groomer. And that was it for that. With that, barring any questions, is in my report.
Thank you, Larry. Any questions for Larry?
I just have one. Is that you pay it up front and then you get reimbursed, or how is that?
They are funded under various programs. Some of them you do have to fund up front and then you reimburse, but some of them I think are paid up front. Depends on the funding facility.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Go to Craig, Ways and Means, Buildings and Grounds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For my final report. The DSS building, we were notified that the roof facade had pulled away from the building, but the maintenance workers were able to re-secure it with using longer fasteners. But this is a temp fix only. So the committee recommendation was to get proposals, understanding that a strategic plan is being formulated to deal with these needs going forward. The Office of Court Administration has made a request to upgrade the courthouse card readers to accommodate visiting justices. And I believe the number on that's about $5,000. The idea behind that is the visiting judges now have to carry several cards for different facilities. They want us to put a reader in so these visiting judges can use one card at all the facilities. So our recommendation was, the committee suggested that OCA be queried as to how to cover the cost of this upgrade. Further action is pending on that. It hasn't been mandated yet.
How about they just come to the front door like the rest of us normal?
Well, I wondered, would they give one to Judge Moore? Treasurer's report. All departments are on track for a non-budget year. The sales tax is over budget by about $800,000. Hospital payments are on schedule with a balance of $1,200,000 outstanding. Planning updates on buildings and grounds from Frank Pace. He reports a slight delay in the solar field interconnection to the grid. An upgrade to one of the switch devices was required by National Grid, so that had to be ordered. A mid-January 2018 date is now expected for the interface and testing. A grant in the amount of $297,000 was awarded to continue with the Central Water System Consortium that encompasses the towns of Denmark, Lowville, Watson, and Martinsburg. The village of Lowville chose not to participate, even at no cost to them. They will be able to reconsider their decision going forward. The consortium of Lewis, and this one I'm very excited about. It's a long time coming, and I think Lewis County deserves it, and it'll go a long way to preserve our families here and our future. The consortium of Lewis County, Jefferson Community College, BOCES, Cornell Cooperative Extension have moved to the brink of agreement on a model that will bring a revolutionary approach to advanced education in Lewis County. This model will spread the cost over several stakeholders, introduce industry-appropriate studies and skill sets while building the client's self-confidence and opportunities for advanced educational opportunities. And that's the end of my report, but I would like to read one other item. The setting sun, I call it. Mr. Chairman, fellow legislators, executive staff, and fellow civil servants. Upon graduation from high school until this very moment, my life has somehow been ingrained into public service. What has been accomplished by this sitting board over the past 4 years is formidable. From building a solid foundation of administrative leadership, millennial upgrades to technology, providing leadership in green energy, building new opportunities to keep our families together, to balance our financial health. I want to thank all of you to have given me the opportunity to be a small part of these accomplishments. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Could I ask you, why didn't Village of Lowville want to be in the study?
Well,
Was there a cost to it?
No cost to it. Frank, could I lean on you to tell me why?
They were afforded the opportunity. They chose to undertake their own study, but they are able to come into this study if they wish to expand what they've already accomplished with theirs.
Frank and I approached the Municipal Water and Sewer Board, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, and at that time they didn't seem to have interest in participating. So, like Frank said, maybe they'll reconsider. It's a no cost to them.
Yeah.
So.
It just seems funny with that being such an issue, you know.
What is the time frame before it kicks off? I mean, they got a couple months to think about it, 3 months? Or?
Well, yeah, with the way DOS works with their contracts, we probably won't see a contract from DOS until somewhere around March, and then we'll wind up, executing that contract. But even through that process, if someone wishes to join on, we're still allowed. We just have to make an amendment to that budget.
Thank you.
I just find it strange that they wouldn't get on board because it is at no cost to them, and this is an issue that they're having going forward.
Yeah.
Is a water system. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, very good, Greg. Greg, transportation, solid waste.
Nothing to report this time.
Okay. Nick, hospital?
Our hospital meeting is tonight due to the holiday schedule and everything, and I will report at the first meeting in May.
Okay, very good. Andrea?
Yes, I have a report from Public Health. We met yesterday. Public Health has administered a total of 380 vaccines this year for the flu. Flu is now considered geographically widespread in New York State, with 2 lab confirmed cases reported for Lewis County. This is a vaccine shortage. There is a vaccine shortage for several vaccines, including yellow fever and hepatitis B, and they will be available in mid of 2018. We have completed the first part of a cost analysis for immunization program and the rabies program. This information will be used to improve quality for both programs, as well as any necessary adjustments to how these programs are delivered. Paula and Penny have been interviewing for a principal account clerk position and plan to make a decision next week. Public Health received another Performance Improvement Initiative Award for this year in the amount of $5,000. This will be added to our state aid reimbursement in 2018. This award was for the area of chronic disease and preparation for acceleration. Public Health strategic plan will be presented prior to the February board meeting. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Andrea. And for my report, one activity that Ryan, Eric Berker, Michelle Ledoux, and myself attended was the REDC Awards in Albany. And it was not only exciting to be part of receiving them awards and getting there for the announcement, but the best part is the interaction that you're allowed to have with all the state commissioners. We talked about different ideas that we had for our community and possibilities of new projects, so it was quite interesting and encouraging. And that's it for my report. We go to County Manager. Anything, Ryan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Not much to report. I think the most exciting initiative right now is, as Craig mentioned, what we have going on with JCC. I feel very optimistic that they will get something in front of their board in the next month or so, and hopefully they can, they will see, the JCC board will see what we see and agree to go forward on this project with us.
Very good, Ryan. And Patty, anything for treasures?
Nothing to report.
Okay.
Good.
Well, wait a minute.
Oh! I got a question about Phil's shirt. It says "No Mo Phil" with question marks. Is that? I was thinking John Lehman better watch out.
I'm watching you, John.
I'm glad somebody is.
Okay, we go back to our public hearing. Anyone have any comment at this time to rescind the overriding the tax levy limit? If there is no comment, I'll announce that public hearing is closed. Now we move to the report of the Ways and Means Committee for Rule 7, Terry.
We'll try it. If I get to a point where I can't talk, I'm going to go get this.
Okay.
Means Committee reports they've examined the claims presented for payment. Total amount of $660,685.07. and recommended they be audited and allowed for the amounts claimed.
That is moved by Craig, second by Brian. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Your first resolution is auditing and allowing the claims for the $660,685.07.
That is moved by Brian, second by Greg. Roll call vote, Terry.
Brennan,
Yes.
Chartran,
Yes.
Dahlhoff,
Yes.
Hathaway,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Causer,
Yes.
Morahan,
Yes.
Mosher,
Yes.
Tabor.
Yes.
Appointing member to Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Subcommittee of the CSB.
Moved by Larry, second by Phil. Discussion? Greg.
I just noticed one thing, is the term correct on there, Terry? To 2020, because the next one is 2021.
There are.
The difference, month terms.
Yeah, these terms were given to me by Pat, so I've got to assume that they're all right. Some are 4, some are 3, most of them are 4, I know.
This one's a 2.
But if they're replacing someone that maybe has resigned from the board, then it may not be a full term.
I just didn't know if it was a typo or something.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions? All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And Terry, we do have a relief person here, if you'd like somebody else to read the resolutions at this point.
I don't know,
Sandra?
you want,
Come on.
you want? I appreciate it.
We had somebody in the bullpen.
She seems excited.
Exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to
It's
sign?
Sandra, it's
Take
ready.
the chair, then you don't have to hold that thing down.
Resolution 526,
We got a new we'll have a new chairman, you know, we'll have a new deputy.
A resolution appointing member to Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Subcommittee of Community Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Alcoholism Services Board.
moved by Craig, second by Larry. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution appointing member to Alcoholism and Substance Abuse Subcommittee of Community Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Alcoholism Services Board.
Moved by Phil, second by Jerry. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appoint member to Lewis County Community Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Alcoholism Services Board.
Moved by Craig, second by Larry. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Mr. Chairman, can I go back one resolution? I noticed that that's an out-of-county residence. Does that matter? Does not? Okay, thank you.
Resolution to appoint member to Lewis County Community Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Alcoholism Services Board, Developmental Disabilities Subcommittee.
Moved by Brian, second by Jerry. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appoint member to Lewis County Community Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Alcoholism Services Board, Developmental Disabilities Subcommittee.
Moved by Craig, second by Brian. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appoint member to Lewis County Community Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Alcoholism Services Board, Developmental Disabilities Subcommittee.
Moved by Phil, second by Larry. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appropriate funds, District Attorney.
Moved by Dick, second by Brian. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appropriate funds, District Attorney Department.
Moved by Dick, second by Craig. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing renewal agreement between Lewis County District Attorney and John A. Sarando.
Moved by Jerry, second by Larry. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing renewal agreement between Lewis County District Attorney Coroner's Office and Mark Tuttle.
Moved by Craig, second by Larry. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appropriate funds, fire and emergency management.
Moved by Phil, second by Greg. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing supplemental agreement number 3 to D0344743 between the New York State Department of Transportation and Lewis County to the Transportation Federal Aid Bridge Replacement Project known as Jordan Falls Road over West Bridge, Oswegatchie River.
Moved by Dick, second by Phil. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appropriate funds, Jordan Falls Road over Oswegatchie River.
Moved by Phil, second by Jerry. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing renewal agreement between Lewis County General Hospital Occupational Medicine and Lewis County Highway Department.
Moved by Jerry, second by Andrea. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution establishing the county's policy on proposed payments in lieu of taxes and county tax abatements.
Moved by Phil, second by Greg. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing purchase of Knox Premium Mobile Device Management Software licenses through local Verizon vendor for county-issued smartphones.
Moved by Craig, second by Jerry. Discussion.
Adam, what exactly does this do?
If there's HIPAA data on a phone, for instance, or client data, and it's lost, we can lock it. We can also track it to figure out where it is.
Right.
Other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing an agreement with the Martinsburg Historical Society.
Moved by Larry, second by Brian. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Lewis County Office for the Aging and VNA Home Care Options.
Moved by Andrea, second by Jerry. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Lewis County Office for the Aging and New York State Catholic Health Plan, DBA Fidelis Care, New York.
Moved by Larry, second by Andrea. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Lewis County Probation Department and the Resolution Center of Jefferson and Lewis Counties.
Moved by Craig, second by Brian. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution number 546 is withdrawn. Resolution number 547 is withdrawn. Resolution authorizing county participation in tax assessment challenge and an expense sharing agreement with the town of Denmark and local school district.
Moved by Phil, second by Jerry. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing digital data release license agreement between the County of Lewis and Absolute Auctions and Realty.
Moved by Brian, second by Jerry. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing exemption from taxation for certain real property owned by the towns and villages of Lewis County and used for production and transmission of public water and sewer for Lewis County residents and businesses.
Moved by Dick, second by someone. Do you have a second to the resolution? The resolution will die without a second. Okay. No resolution. There was some discussion about an alternative plan. Sherry, any thoughts on that? We reserve that till later?
Well, I mean, no offense, what are you looking at me for?
Well, I just know you had some thoughts on how to handle this
Well, I
differently.
mean, we can still accomplish the same thing, that's fine.
Okay, I guess there's no second, let's move on.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Technological Services Group and the County of Lewis Department of Recreation, Forestry, and Parks for mobile app development and maintenance.
Moved by Larry, second by Craig. Discussion?
I just got a question, is this a new group or just one?
This is a new group, it was Mohawk Valley GIS, it was one area, they're going, my understanding is they're going out of business, so they have to find someone new. We talked to Adam about, his department taking it on, but he doesn't have the time at this point, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Lewis County Sheriff's Department and Black Creek Integrated Systems Corporation.
Moved by Jerry, second by Greg. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Lewis County Sheriff's Department and One Path Career Partners.
Moved by Jerry, second by Greg. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Lewis County Sheriff's Department and Transitional Living Services of Northern New York.
Moved by Larry, second by Craig. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appropriate funds, Sheriff's Department.
Moved by Craig, second by Jerry. Discussion?
Jerry, did they give you any indication how many kids participated in that?
No, no.
30.
30?
30? That's what we were told.
Other questions?
30, Jerry.
Thank you.
All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appropriate funds, Sheriff's Department.
Moved by Jerry, second by Larry. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to transfer funds, Sheriff's Department.
Moved by Larry, second by Greg. Discussion?
What's gonna happen to the old computers?
We haven't got that far. Some of them are gonna be, my understanding, the bits and pieces, but exactly which ones. Some of them are gonna be transferred over into other parts of the agency.
Of the sheriff's department?
Yeah, and I don't know if there's any left there. My understanding is they're pretty rough shape, some of the older ones.
But they'll all be present and accounted for, right?
Yes, I'll do my damnedest.
I know you will, actually, but.
Essentially what's happening is that, and it's like not knowing the number of kids, I'll be honest with you, I was kind of like a deer in the headlight. I feel we got some good news in committee about snowmobile
Yes.
stuff and this and that.
Yep. It was good.
I guess I was kind of thinking about that and maybe not listening when they told how many, if they did, I apologize.
That's all right. I just was hoping, I just wanted to put it out.
Yeah.
Hoping that
My-
they would be accounting for it.
My understanding on these tablets, they're gonna be tablets, they're fairly expensive a piece, but
Yeah.
there's a company, I don't know, one of the states, Massachusetts, Connecticut, that does this just for law enforcement, and I guess they're really well. The scanner's built into it where I guess they had trouble now scanning stuff, they drop it and this and that. They're capable of taking pictures, there'll be a docking station, also it comes with it at their desk, so they can take the tablet out and put it in the office to write their reports. They haven't got it set out there completely. If one goes down, you can pull it from any other vehicle and put it in. They're not vehicle specific. So, I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of good features to it. One of the things that came, essentially, this is like money that we can only spend for specific things. And this was one, it seems to be important.
For a guy that didn't listen, you certainly know a lot about it.
Well, some sinks in, believe it or not.
Mr. Chairman, can I just be heard on that issue as well?
Yeah.
I do think it will be important for us to request from the Sheriff's Department that we have an inventory of the old ones, because there is a lot of data on them that we would want to make sure gets destroyed and that we do it properly. So I would request that we send a letter to the sheriff and make sure that we have an inventory of all the ones that are being taken out of commission.
Yeah, you want a motion on it?
No, I'll send a letter if you want, Jerry, so.
Oh, appreciate it.
No objections to that?
No, I think it's a good idea.
Do you want to go to Adam's department for scrubbing, or how are you gonna handle that?
I'll work with Adam and see how we take care of that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where they're all gonna end up, if they all got places, but the way it sounded, correct me if I'm wrong. No, you weren't there that day.
No, I wasn't.
It sounds like they got some uses for some of them.
It'll be we've got 12 vehicles, so 12 pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
You know, I would agree, we've got to make sure there's something in place that each of those get serial numbered and cataloged, and we know exactly where they're going.
Well, just for the HIPAA policies,
Absolutely.
that must fall under our HIPAA policy, doesn't it, Bill?
Yeah, security.
Definitely.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
just for that,
Yeah.
Any other questions on the resolution? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appropriate for snowmobile trail program for 2017-2018 season.
Moved by Larry, second by Jerry. Discussion? Dick?
Yeah, Larry, this talks about the funds being passed on to the Snowmobile Association. Aren't there several associations, or how's this going to be distributed?
There's one county association with 9 clubs.
So it goes to the association and they take it to the clubs?
Yes.
Okay.
Other questions? All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Department of Social Services and the Center of Lifelong Education and Recreation of SUNY Potsdam.
Moved by Jerry, second by Craig. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing a modification resolution authorizing a modification agreement to the memorandum of understanding between Department of Social Services and New York State Office of Children and Family Services.
Moved by Andrea, second by Jerry. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing a memorandum of agreement between Lewis County Department of Social Services and Transitional Living Services of Northern New York.
Moved by Jerry, second by Andrea. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Lewis County General Hospital Occupational Medicine and Lewis County Solid Waste Department.
Moved by Craig, second by Brian. Discussion?
Yeah, I do have one question. I mean, it says like for highway, but it's probably for towns too, if they're in that process, the same pricing, or is that just for?
That's just for us.
Yeah, that's us, they have their own agreements.
Thank you.
Other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between the County of Lewis and Mountain View Prevention Services.
Moved by Larry, second by Brian. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution appointing members to Traffic Safety Board.
Moved by Phil, second by Craig. Discussion? All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between the County of Lewis and Good Morning Realty to lease advertising space on the Lewis County Public Transportation Bus.
Moved by Larry, second by Craig. Discussion?
Just a comment, this program is working very well. My understanding is we've only got 2 very small spaces remaining on the bus, and we have a continuous line of future advertisement requests on our buses, so it's a very successful program.
If I could make a comment, I like the idea that we're able to approve each one. I would be caution on to what could be advertised on the bus.
Good point.
Any other comments on the resolution? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Show Phil Hathaway opposed.
Resolution authorizing agreement between the County of Lewis and Jefferson Lewis Board of Realtors to lease advertising space on the Lewis County Public Transportation Bus.
Moved by Craig, second by Larry. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Show Phil Hathaway opposed.
Resolution authorizing agreement between the County of Lewis and Absolute Auctions and Realty.
Moved by Phil, second by Jerry. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to transfer funds various accounts.
Moved by Larry, second by Craig. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appropriate funds capital equipment.
Moved by Jerry, second by someone. Craig. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appropriate funds capital highway building.
Moved by Larry, second by Craig. Discussion?
Patty, is that the amount on there, the 856, is that before the 200,000, right? Okay, thank you.
Other questions? All in favor of the resolution, say aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing treasurer to carry forward appropriations.
Moved by Larry, second by Jerry. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Levying taxes and assessments for annual town budgets and corrections to tax rolls.
Moved by Phil, second by Larry. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing an agreement with B. Elizabeth Strong Memorial Library.
Moved by Dick, second by Greg. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to schedule 2018 organizational meeting.
Moved by Jerry, second by Larry. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, resolutions?
Resolution authorizing agreement with County of Lewis Industrial Development Agency.
Moved by Larry, second by Craig. Discussion? Anything new in this agreement, Larry? Okay. Other questions? All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Or show Dick opposed and Greg Culzer opposed.
Resolution adopting and otherwise treating local law number 7-2017, County of Lewis.
Moved by Phil, second by Jerry. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Roll call. Roll call.
Oh, sorry. Roll call.
Brennan,
Yes.
Chartran,
Yes.
Dahlhoff,
Yes.
Hathaway,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Culzer,
Yes.
Morahan,
Yes.
Mosier,
Yes.
Haybold,
Yes.
resolution authorizing agreement between the County of Lewis and E.F. Johnson for an interoperable base station for Lewis County Public Safety 911 radio system.
Moved by Larry, second by Brian. Discussion? Jerry, what's this? Authorizing interoperable base?
Essentially, we were required by the contract when we got to 6 million to do 3 tower sites for interoperable, which means they'll have a VFH, UFH, and 800 or 900 megahertz frequencies. And what that's supposed to do is be monitored at all times. We hadn't got that, so for us to get our $539,000 last year, one of the requirements was that we finish the interoperable part of it. So this includes the 3 tower sites that was chosen by the vendor for which would give us the best coverage in Lewis County. And then we've talked about also an overlay. One of the problems we already have the VFH radios on all the tower sites, and when this originally started out, we were going to talk on one frequency and receive on another. Well, as they were going through the process, they figured out we can do everything on one on the paging chain. So and I'm trying to condense it. Essentially what it did was left all of the tower sites that have this one radio in there. The problem we're having, because we've jumped forward and went into this process, we're ahead of all of our neighboring counties. So what this will allow us to do is, say, we'll pick a Nider County. If Nider County comes in and works with us, whether it's a sheriff, state police, or fire agencies, they can go to this channel, put the frequency in their radios, talk to us, and we can patch it through on the community channel, which will let us use our UFH frequency. So it's interoperable too.
Okay. Jerry, I would ask, is this being funded by that particular grant then? Where's the money coming from to do this?
$390,000, $350 was. And remember, we didn't spend all the $400,000 like I talked before. We closed the grant out $400,000 short. So we may have to come back for a little bit, about $40,000. But
And isn't this also part of, I seem to recall that when we first started this radio project, the interoperability was going to be funded partially by the state and handled by Onondaga County. Is this all part of that?
No, that's a completely different issue. They call that SSI.
Yeah.
And seamless roaming. Essentially, when this all started, the state had thrown in $250,000. When we got to the point of completing it, the money was gone. So we put that on hold. We're still in the process. To be honest with you, we're evaluating the SSI.
Isn't it kind of redundant? Doesn't it do the same thing?
Well, our system we built it for Lewis County. It's a standalone. We do not need to switch to work. But there might be some features in doing the SSI that might help Lewis County. We're not sure what they are. We've got a meeting coming up probably the first couple of weeks in January with Motorola, so we can get a handle on what actually the SSI would do for Lewis County. It is important for the state police, their seamless roaming. And what that does is because they have cars here, there, and everywhere else is going in different counties, the radio would recognize other counties being with the SSI because it goes to the switch.
Mm-hmm.
But what also we got to evaluate, if we go to that direction, what we're going to incur as far as maintenance and everything else. So until we really know what it does for us, we're not moving forward. So in
Well,
January, we'll know exactly what the SSI would do for Lewis County.
if I recall correctly, the SSI was to afford any visiting emergency service, be it ambulance, be it fire, coming in for a mass casualty problem in Lewis County, they would be able to communicate. That's what it was about.
Not SSI.
But the one you're doing will make that capable?
For VHF and up here in the top where we did the interoperable channels.
Yeah.
Those interoperable channels, well, anybody comes in with any radio, they should be able to hit one of those frequencies and talk to us,
Okay.
the dispatch. Then dispatch has the capability of patching them back to whatever unit, say community channel 13, where with that incident's going on, they can tie that up.
Excuse me, sir. Okay, thank you.
They gotta hit one of those three towers. The SSI is completely separate. It's what they call seamless roaming. So if we have a sheriff's car that goes down into, say, Onondaga County, their radio system picks it up.
Okay.
Isn't
Thank
that
you.
what the state was gonna pay for and then they didn't?
Exactly.
Right, but since then, what we're looking at, to be honest with you, because we don't require the switch, one of the questions we have is that how much maintenance we're gonna have to pay on the
Right.
switch. Then for SSI, just SSI is around $50,000 a year. So we gotta figure out what we get for that 50 before we jump into it. So we'll know in January, hopefully.
Thank you. Just seems like
You're
we're
welcome.
putting a lot of money in the system overall.
We are, the grant dictated, the last one we got, that we're gonna do the interoperable, because that was part of our original $6 million. So we completed that, so hopefully the money that's coming in from now on, we'll be able to use for other things. But I don't guarantee that the way the state works. They may get a hair and say, okay, you want your money, you're gonna do this next.
So
Thank you,
the
Jerry.
total project, Jerry's been within budget, though, right? The
Yeah.
only reason that we're transferring this money is because we basically
Well,
paid forward on closing out the grant.
in the 339,000, I mean, yeah, 390,834, we have budgeted already 350,000 for the interoperable. For 40,000 more, we can complete the overlay.
Right.
So, and we may have a little bit of money in there, but we also may come back. And like we talked about before, we closed out the grant. We didn't borrow $450-some thousand, not exactly. So we were under by that much, but we hadn't finished our project yet either. But we've also got new funding, which we're using as much as we can. We still might need a little help.
Okay, thanks, Jerry.
You're welcome.
Any other questions on the resolution?
Now that I've confused everybody.
Okay, all in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to transfer funds, Sheriff's Department.
Moved by Larry, seconded by Jerry. Discussion?
We'll say it fluctuates. It just depends who we get in there and maybe what our medical stuff runs. And we have, there's one in there now that we put more in there.
I assume it has something to do with it being pretty full up there too. Wouldn't
It's that, but you know, when whoever it is, when you get them, if they got medical needs, we have no idea how expensive the medical needs are. So we budget a certain amount for the year, and if we get a high, well, it's like our insurance. If we get a high thing, we got to put extra money in.
In the committee yesterday, it was reported that DSS has taken an initiative to get people on health care for, if they go in the hospital, then it's gonna get paid for, if they get admitted.
We're
And
trying.
that's
yeah.
a really good thing, that's
Yeah.
a really good thing.
Yeah, but we just got to get all those things put together before something.
I admire DSS for doing that.
Yes, I do too. That all depends on if the state follows suit with the federal government or not, Phil. Because that mandated health insurance is no longer if the state follows suit with that.
They're signing up on Fidelis.
Well, I realize that, but they don't have to though. Right now you have to have insurance. That could affect that
Well,
with the tax reform bill, because that's one of the ones that they eliminated. But it depends if Cuomo follows suit with that or not, so we always know that Cuomo.
But there might be other things we can qualify for.
I'm pretty, I think that if you're incarcerated, you're automatically eligible for Medicaid.
What?
Federal assistance.
Oh.
But if they cut that back, that would affect
No, not necessarily. If you fall within the income guidelines, you're not, Ryan.
They're not making any
No,
money in
I mean,
jail.
well, I mean, if you have someone in there that, you know, fell on bad, you know, just got involved in the wrong thing, it makes a $70,000 a year job. No, they don't. They don't.
I mean, it's just the hands we're dealt. We gotta
Yeah, we have
chase
to.
all the avenues we can to lessen it if possible.
Okay, any other thoughts on the resolution? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution rescinding resolution number 266-2017 and authorizing the opening of a portion of County Route 46 in the town of Osceola for snowmobile access.
Moved by Larry, second by Jerry. Discussion?
Just basically, there were a couple of typos in the original resolution, so we rescinded that and corrected the typos, and this is the new.
Other comments? All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution to appropriate funds, public health.
Moved by Jerry, second by Brian. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Department of Social Services and Community Action Planning Council of Jefferson County.
Moved by Craig, second by Andrea. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Lewis County on behalf of the Department of Social Services and Lewis County Opportunities.
Moved by Andrea, second by Jerry. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing agreement between Department of Social Services and Rubenzoll, Knudsen and Associates Psychological Services.
Moved by Craig, second by Larry. Discussion?
Is this a, Ryan, does this new address the discrepancy between what they wanted and what the first contract offered?
Which one are you talking about, 583 or 584? 584 addresses, yeah, the discrepancy, yes. Yeah.
Any other comments on resolution 583? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
resolution authorizing contract with Lewis Defenders.
Moved by Larry, second by Jerry. Discussion?
I have no other questions.
Does this represent the 2% increase in?
Right, the first one was 1.5 and that wasn't acceptable, so we had to take
Okay.
it. And
This amount is in the
that's in a
budget.
few $100s.
Okay. Any other questions on the resolution? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution authorizing contract with McCluskey Law Firm to perform conflict defender services.
Moved by Bill, second by Jerry. Discussion. All in favor of the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I believe that's it for resolutions. Does anyone have any other business to come before this meeting other than the executive session?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay, we can do that. Any other business? Okay, do we have a motion to go into executive session, discuss our labor union negotiations? Moved by Larry, second by Brian. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Mr. Chairman, a comment, please.
Yeah, okay, that motion passes.
Okay, well, I would suggest that we bring in the 3 electees into that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, that's understood. And, yeah, we will adjourn for a 5-minute recess and then come back into executive session.
Mr. Phil.